Hello everyone and welcome back to my BNB Everyday YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At Forrester, Katie updates Steffy that she's transferred the press release to her bastard. Steffy says it's professional to give Hope a heads up. Katie snips that there's nothing professional passing then. Steffy doesn't like her tone and points out that what Hope did was unskillful. How would Katie reply if she set up a woman in lingerie on top of her hubby? Katie claims she'd consider that it might have been a misreading. Steffy, amused, says, "No, you would not." Ridge comes in as Steffy tells Katie the case is closed. Hope is no longer allowed there, and there's nothing she or anyone differently can do about it. Katie shows Ridge the veritably brief press release, and he says it must have come as a blow to Hope. Katie adds that it's a blow to the company as well. Steffy reiterates that Hope came onto her hubby no bone. Forced her to do it. Ridge wishes none of this had ever happened. Steffy thinks it sounds like his opinion of Hope is shifting. Are you hearkening to Brooke? Ridge says of course she's an important person in his life. Steffy says she's justified in what she did. Ridge says this is about the company. Getting relief of Hope and hope for the future are big opinions for them. Katie adds that she's Brooke's son, and this will shoot shockwaves through the assiduity. Ridge asks Katie to hold the press release, and she walks out. Steffy tells her father it doesn't sound like he's defending her. It sounds like he's defending Hope and Brooke. In the cabin, Hope recaps that Carter has taken the first step in their plan by subscribing his name on the LLC paperwork. Carter agonizes about whether or not he can betray Ridge and Steffy's trust. Can they take over Forrester Creations? Hope reads the press release again and sensations that her heritage is gone with just a many rulings. All of her hard work meant nothing. Carter says she has a right to feel disrespected. Hope says he does too. Carter questions if that justifies the achievement at Forrester Creations. Brooke arrives at the precipice house to a shirtless Finn and notes he must have just come by from probing. Finn says he knows why she's there. Ridge was just there too. Brooke gawps when Finn says he wanted to talk about how out of control Hope is. She argues that her son made one mistake at Eric's party, and that was it. Finn says it was enough big mistake, and his woman thinks so too. Brooke says she apologized and said it wouldn't be again, and it didn't. Finn says it did. She came on to him in lingerie at Forrester. Brooke clucks that it was just a misreading. Finn points out she doesn't know what happened as she was there. Hope projected me to the office. How would she anticipate Steffy to reply? Brooke sighs that they're wrong. Hope isn't interested in you, Finn. Finn and Brooke go back and forth about it. Brooke knows what it's like to be incorrectly indicted. Finn says Hope needs to take responsibility and move on. Brooke narrows her eyes and says Hope doesn't want him. She's moving in another direction and has no interest in him whatsoever. Brooke reminds Finn that he and Hope were musketeers formerly. He says she crossed the line and ruined that. Brooke complains that she apologized for that, and she shouldn't have to lose everything she's worked for. She thinks the press will question Steffy's foolish decision. She warns Finn that he needs to cover the company. He needs to tell his woman to back off before it's too late. At the cabin, Carter tells Hope he's always valued fidelity and lives by his heart. He's proud of that. Hope says occasionally fidelity is lost. They go over being overlooked, underrated, and discarded. Hope thinks Steffy has been given too important power. Carter's idea to turn Forrester into a transnational luxury brand is commodity Steffy and Ridge couldn't have pictured of. She's sure they're shutting it down because they didn't suppose of it first. Carter also gets outraged on Hope's behalf. Hope goes over the disadvantage her family is at in the company. She warns if Carter continues down this road, Steffy will want him out. Who does he suppose Ridge will support? Him. Or his cherished son? Carter nods. They need to cover themselves and their life's work. Hope asks, is it really that bad that we're standing up for ourselves and fighting back? Carter warns if they do this, there's no going back. There will be ramifications for all of them. Hope questions, do we really want to go down this road? Carter says they've left them no choice. He'll try one further time to get through to Ridge, however. They'll follow through on their plan if he fails. Stay for my call. By the end of the day, our lives could be changed. Hope tells him she believes in him, and they kiss. In the office, Ridge tells Steffy he has her reverse. She asks, do you? Ridge says yes. Hope not being there right now is the right thing. That's why he transferred her down. Steffy feels like he's faltering. She says she'd no way put her particular passions over the good of the company. But how could she have hope back then after everything she's done? Ridge understands, but they've to handle this the right way. This is delicate. He disagrees that it's time to issue a press release. Carter comes by and says he thinks they can resolve this before effects escalate out of control. In the cabin, Hope flashes through her exchanges with Carter and their lovemaking and kisses. Brooke comes by and startles her. Her mama asks if she's okay. Hope says it's been a lot to reuse. Brooke clucks that what Steffy did is just not right. They both know she was wearing lingerie for Finn. I went to talk to him. Hope asks how that worked out. Brooke admits, not so great. She just wishes he'd believe she's not after him. Hope says Carter has her heart. Brooke told Finn that he has to move Steffy to change her mind before it's too late. Hope nods, yes. Before it's too late. At Forrester, Carter tells them they'll have to agree to differ on what happened in the design office. The optics of firing Hope are terrible. Steffy questions being concerned with optics when Hope came onto her hubby. Carter tells her to be concerned about the company. He loves this place and has devoted over a decade of his life to it. We all have commodity at stake then. Are you really going to fire Hope? Brooke's son, Steffy, tells him he's grasping at straws then. Carter complains that the Logans have been blinked and dismissed for times. That's why he thinks firing her is particular. Steffy replies, "You're damn right it's particular. But it's also business. How is she supposed to work with someone she can't trust? Why is this so hard to understand?" Carter tells Steffy her issues with Hope are holding her back. She needs to deal with her issues. Ridge thinks he needs to take a breath. Carter is fighting for the company. He declares that Forrester Creations will no way be the same if they do reinstate Hope and hope for the future. You have no idea what's at stake if you do ent. Ridge refocused out Carter's name was listed as the director on the LLC, so he questioned why Carter's hand was there. Carter offered to have new papers drawn up if Ridge preferred, but also Taylor arrived and created a distraction. Steffy pushed Ridge to go ahead and get this done rather than staying until latterly. Ridge assured Carter that he trusted him and said it was fine as he finished subscribing the paperwork. After Carter left, Ridge and Steffy talked to Taylor about the conflict that had been playing out with their susurrus recently. Although Ridge had noticed a change in Carter, he still considered him a veritably dear friend and someone he could count on. At the cabin, Hope kept dropping cryptic hints about how important Carter was risking. Brooke wondered if there was commodity further going on that she didn't know about. Hope joked that she was eloping with Carter if that's what Brooke was upset about, so Brooke said that study hadn't crossed her mind. Still, Brooke approved of the support Carter was giving Hope and was happy to see her following her heart. Hope couldn't imagine Liam or any other man fighting for the way Carter was fighting for her. Carter ultimately returned and suggested his meeting at Forrester Creations was intriguing, so Brooke decided she'd let him talk to Hope alone. Once Brooke stepped out, Carter explained how everything went down, including how Ridge saw his name on the papers and presumably would have figured it all out without Taylor showing up to distract him. Carter felt shamefaced about deceiving Ridge and Steffy, so Hope admitted this didn't exactly sit right with her moreover. Nonetheless, Steffy and Ridge refused to find any middle ground, so Hope acted like they couldn't accept the high and potent Forrester's status quo presently. With Ridge and Steffy's autographs, Hope reminded Carter that he could be the one running Forrester Creations. Carter revealed that Steffy called Hope a whine right to his face and fumed over the Forresters not seeing her worth. Indeed so, Carter confessed to having a giant hole in his stomach and asked if they could really turn Forrester upside down by taking over. Brooke popped back over outdoors and heated in on the discussion, so she heaved as she got updates on Carter conniving a preemption with Hope's help. Carter said Steffy and Ridge had no idea that when they inked these papers, they gave control over to him. Still, Carter pledged to bring Hope back to the company if they moved forward with this plan. That said, Carter was adamant that he'd be the one in charge. Since Carter didn't want this blowing back on Hope, he claimed this was his decision alone. After Hope said Carter had a choice to make, he continued to pound over whether he'd protest Steffy and Ridge off the throne so he could be in charge. Brooke was left in shock following her eavesdropper discovery, so Thursday's BNB occasion ended on a veritably dramatic note. Brooke will struggle with a terrible dilemma thanks to what she's learned, so we'll bring you more prognostications on the fate of this stunning news ahead.